Welcome, you 7,000 amazing subscribers, to a very special live stream focusing on GRC with our community's own Emmanuel O. Appiah. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, a massive welcome and an even bigger thank you for giving up your time to engage with our content. As always, we're streaming live with the chance for our audience, that's you, to ask us anything throughout. But before we begin, for those that are new to the channel, my name's Simon Linstead and I'm the founder of the InfoSecLive community. And by sharing stories and best practices over the last few months, it's led to nearly 100,000 views of our content here on YouTube by you, our amazing subscribers. All possible now thanks to our amazing channel sponsor, Rapid7. Our organizations have great synergy and we're excited to see how we can serve the wider security community in 2023 and beyond. I've got a QR code for you all to scan here if I can find the right button. Here we go. Come on, Simon, you can do it. There we go. QR code there, which is to their fundamentals section on their website, which has got some amazing free resources on cloud security, vulnerability risk management, application security, detection and response. And of course, don't forget about their amazing open source tools, such as, prop here already, if it'll tune in, Metasploit, of course, and Velociraptor, helping the InfoSec community. Watch this space for events and more details coming soon on how InfoSecLive and Rapid7 will be working together moving forward. And while we're on the subject of news, big news, in fact, we're planning the first InfoSecLive mini-con next February the 1st in London. And we're looking for sponsors at the moment to support this epic event. First of its kind, community-focused event based in the UK, hopefully the first of many around the world. Drop me a line in the community if you'd like to find out more about it. A special shout out to our existing channel members. Thank you for your support. And of course, if anyone watching would like to support the community, please click that join button with 3 levels of membership available. However, whether you join or not, being here and engaging with our content is what really matters. Time for the show. And today we have a big supporter for the InfoSecLive community in Emmanuel. He's a seasoned cybersecurity trainer and consultant with over 6 years of experience, holds a certified project manager designation from PMI, and is recognized as an expert in cybersecurity as a GRC analyst. Combines his technical expertise with a passion for training, holding an associate degree in information technology management and pursuing a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity and information assurance. And he's also a certified mental health first aider. But beyond his professional pursuits, Emmanuel's compassionate and empathetic approach, shaped by his role as a father, enables him to understand the challenges faced by individuals and organizations in today's digital age. And overall, Emmanuel's a trusted guide for those seeking cybersecurity knowledge and practical solutions. And for anyone in the community who's met with Emmanuel or benefited from his mentor sessions, you'll know how amazing he is. So let's bring him on and find out how he got to where he is today in another episode of the GRC Experience. I need someone to press my buttons for me. Now the chat's disappeared, Emmanuel. I've got no idea.
Oh, really?
I know. So it's all coming up down the side, but not there. Let me turn it off and on again.
Okay.
Do a little test run. Test. So, Emmanuel, how are you? It's not working.
I'm good. And you?
I'm
Sorry,
very,
guys.
very well.
I was trying to work on my workstation here to see if I can get on the bigger screen, but it looks like the phone really works better. So
It's all
sorry
right.
about that,
We can,
guys.
can see you, we can hear you. That's all that matters. I'm going to have
Okay.
to turn the chat overlay off. For some reason, the chat overlay has broken. So I'll switch that off the
Oh,
screen, which gives more focus on us, I feel, Emmanuel, which is much better. But please do carry on dropping those comments in. We've got it up on the right-hand side of the screen here, so we will respond to any questions. But Emmanuel, let's start off by saying thank you for all of the support that you give to the InfoSec Live community. It is very, very much appreciated. And you'll see from some of the comments already that people have really, really benefited from that. So thank you.
thank you too. Thank you. I want to thank you too, and I want to thank the InfoSec Live community. In fact, I've been following the chat already, but it's amazing. And actually, it's an honor to be in this community. The welcome, the reception, it's amazing,
Oh,
and I
that's
want to
really
shout out
kind.
to everybody here.
And
It's
that
amazing community to
seems
be
like the
in.
right opportunity to bring up another QR code for those people who haven't joined the community for them to scan
Exactly.
and take a picture. Okay, let's start off with your journey. So talk to me about what you wanted to do when you left school and how you've ended up here. Let's talk about the journey first.
Okay. Okay. So actually, I've been a IT nerd for the past almost 11 years now. Back home in Africa, we never had the privilege over here in the state or in the vast country when it comes to computers. So that's how I started. I remember I used to clean a computer school back home just to be able to get a chance to learn computer, because there's no way back home you'll be able to get anything when it comes to computer learning. So I started swooping the school just to be able to get the free chance to learn, and that's how I picked up. So I had an interest in it. Fast forward after college, I decided to come to the state, and I got a chance to come, and I started working with it, helping small business out of it. Got a chance to do an associate with ITT, and from there started working towards it. Now, before that, things really turned out for me when I was doing the system admin. So I started working out as a system admin, kind of a freelance system admin where people call me out of their small business and like, hey, we have this issue. Can you troubleshoot and fix it? Can you help out with our network? So everything started green over there. And I had a chance to work with one of the local nursing agencies here. I was just helping them with their audit. Actually, when everything started, I never thought what I was doing was in line with cybersecurity. So when I decided, like right in the pandemic, I think very before that, I was thinking of which of the area in the IT do I want to master? Like I want to find one area because system admin is really cool. I love it. Messing around with things and breaking the networks and fixing them back again. People messing around things and you being called upon sometimes 2 a.m. to just come fix them. That's how it's really started. So when I decided to move into a field in the IT, it dawned on me with cybersecurity. So I decided to pursue it. I had other people that helped me, but they never really helped out after paying so much money and stuff like that. So I decided to put upon myself to do my own study and research and also volunteer. I started volunteering out, and through that, I was able to gain all this experience without even knowing that everything I was doing was a GRC. And I love it. I love GRC. In fact, I wish everybody would come on board to the GRC side, but it's not possible. It's not possible. We always fight on the chat in the community about it, but it's not possible. But I think GRC, I always say it. The other time I was shout out to Dr. Gerard, I was having this chat with him. That GRC, we are the knight. We are the order box. The optimum prime. Without us, nothing can really go on in a business or even in a country. Without us, it's not possible to
100%.
get things, right
And
running.
I
So
think Manuel, the industry definitely over the last few years has been very focused on tooling rather than the people and the processes. And I think as the industry matures, I've had a couple of conversations with other leaders today about this, where people are finally realizing that GRC is the cornerstone of all of this. Without the foundations in place, everything else falls apart anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's been a kind of a debate anytime I meet these managers and CISOs, anytime I have the chance. It's like I could see there's a change. Let me put it this way. From my engagement, I could see there's a kind of a change coming up. Companies are now trying to put in place the GRC, where they're trying to get their feet in there to see how well it works with them, because people don't really believe. All they know is about, hey, we need to get a third party to do our pen testing. We need to get a third party to help us with our
Yeah,
compliance audits and stuff like that. They never thought of, okay, can we have an in-house where everything can be streamlined before we go out? And now I could see a little change, but there's a kind of a kind of backlash coming out of it, and a kind of push, because most of these CISOs don't understand how the whole thing works. They didn't really have a kind of I will not blame them. I think there's no tool. Let me put it that way. There's no GRC tool that can streamline everything that they want to do.
no,
And one of the people that are doing this kind of bring out this tool is Justin, and I shout out to him. He's trying to bring out all this kind of out there, like preaching it out, so
yeah.
that companies will be able to know the kind of tools that they can use to streamline whatever area they want to go within the GRC domain. And I think it's good. I think it's good. Yeah.
Thank you. One thing I've noticed since I've seen you active in the community is you have an overwhelming desire to help other people. Talk to me about where that comes from.
Whew. Okay, so let me say, as a village boy, I was raised by my grandma, and it's a house full of women. Like, so sometimes people are like, "Why do you get all these women around you?" It's me. Like, my outbreak, all I saw was women. Like, a big house full of women. I'm the only guy in there. Even though later on I had a sibling brother coming up, and some other brothers from my uncles and stuff like that, some cousins and stuff. But when I was growing up, that was how it was, the only guy in there. And my grandma was the one that shaped my life. And wherever she is, may so rest in peace. Alice, my mom too was a very big um, pillar in my upbringing, because she was a mother raising, kids and other kids around. She really taught us how to give, because that's how I saw. We used to have a farm and a garden, and we never really eat from it. People just come out and just feed of it. And one time I remember, anytime we used to go to bed, my grandma would ask this simple question: "How many people did you guys help today? Like, did you truthfully help today?" Before we can say our prayer to go to bed.
That is
You
lovely.
know,
What a beautiful thing.
yeah, exactly. And we never had the chance to do a book to read before you go to bed, like bedtime reading now. She always would tell us a story, or she would ask us, how many people did you truthfully or faithfully help out today? And sometimes we don't get any answer. And she's like, tomorrow I'm going to ask that same question. I want to get an answer. And that's how it came. So I took it upon myself, no matter how it is. I don't know highway. Sometimes my wife is like, you need to be careful because it's dangerous. You don't know the person,
Yeah.
pulling up the highway to help. Sometimes you need to be very cautious about it. But I'm like, hey, that's me. I don't care. I want to help. So I
I
don't
love,
care. It's
I
gonna
love,
cost us.
I love that. And if I was wearing it, here it is. Hold on.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I'll take my hat off. Take my hat off to your grandmother as well for instilling those amazing values. It is just such a
Yeah.
nice story, Emmanuel. It really is. While we're talking about stories, then you've talked about the family inspiration for the giving back and the treating people kindly with respect, etc. Who's been your biggest inspiration in the industry since you've joined?
First of all, I would say Paul Cummins, of the whole yeah, Paul. I know you know Paul. um, when I started out, GRC is like cybersecurity is kind of. I think we should have a kind of a streamline to help people that want to enter,
Yeah,
because it's very confusing for if you want to enter. In fact, the information is so much around that you don't even know which one to consume.
yeah,
And I want to shout out to the team in InfoSec, like, where they are trying to bring all these domains and bringing people together, bringing on information. And Precious is doing an amazing job.
yeah.
Justin, Paul. The names are amazing. Musa, I can't even finish the name. And they're trying to bring all this information to streamline it. So when I was coming in, it was tough. I never had information. So it was on Discord that I met Paul, and he was so amazing.
Yeah.
Paul gave me the direction. He gave me where to look for. He gave me the books to go look into, the researches around, the case studies. And most of the things that he even told me, I never knew I had them because I was just going around gathering information because I had somebody said, "Oh, Python is good." I just go in there, look at it,
Yeah.
studying it, So I had all those information, but I never had a streamline or kind of a tailored roadmap to take you through those steps. From that, I was able to meet Ken Underhill. He
Yeah.
was also amazing. He guided me through the interview processes, the LinkedIn, the resume, together with Christabel Thomas. In fact, they are so much. They are the people that I really, really, stand out for. I
It's,
bow always to them.
it's funny you should mention them. Paul Cummings was one of the first people that I spoke to in the industry a couple of years back. He was creating or founding the whole Cyberhuman initiative around about the same time that the infoseclive community was born. And I spoke to Paul for the first time in a few months the other week, and he's still, he's got work commitments, he's got family commitments like we all have, but he's still following that belief in what he's doing. And I'm going to put a link in the chat for everyone here. That's the link to their website. And as you rightly said, Emmanuel, they do really help you gain that clarity and give you some direction amongst all that noise out there in the industry. And just going back to what you said about everyone within the community helping, I think where InfoSec Live is different to other organizations who help that. And I think the recent workshop, which was successful and amazing, I think one thing it did show us though, is the real value for our community isn't putting together structured courses for people. It's the value of the people within that community who are willing to knowledge share and spend time with other people. And I think without that, I mean, a lot of this has stemmed from when I came into the industry. I didn't know anyone. I had no one to speak to. And to see it grow the way it has, and to see everyone mucking in now and helping each other, really, really is something special.
I agree with you. I agree with someone. It's amazing what these people are doing. They coming out and reaching out to them. I've tried to reach out to most of the big tanks, in the industry, and sometimes the reception is kind of not really good. Probably it might be the way I approach. So it's something that that's when we're discussing in one of the sections about how to approach people in the industry. You might have a legitimate way, or a need, but it should be a way to approach them. So I think it was something that I also learned out of there. But when it comes to Paul, I really bow for him. He was so inspirational, and I still have that connection with him. Sometimes make jokes and stuff with him, and it's really good. And I look up onto them because I see whatever I want, I see it in them.
Yeah.
Because they have gone through the journey, they've gone through the struggle. So it inspired me like, hey, this stage you are, somebody like Paul went through it.
Yeah.
Somebody like Ken was like a homeless. And if somebody can come out of homeless to this structure he has in this industry, what can I not do? So it's very inspiring about their stories, that the journey they've gone through because they decided to go through this path. So it's very inspiring.
Maybe there's something to be said for being homeless. I've been homeless myself. Maybe it's that driver that you need that makes you realize that maybe you do need to do a bit more in helping other people. I'm gonna drop another link in here that someone who's watching, or I think he was watching earlier, Steve Hindle, good friend of mine. Hey, Steve.
Okay.
Drop this link in the community. It's really, really good, aimed at younger people. And it basically gets you to do a bit of self-discovery about thinking what you like and what you enjoy before you start looking at the pathways in the industry. And I think from all the conversations we've had and with others, that self-discovery part is so important. And once you understand what it is you're good at, and you said this earlier on in the discussion, you've been doing all these things, but you didn't actually realize that this is what it meant you could do. And I think sometimes you need someone on the outside looking in to tell you that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Because as I said, the information is so much, and most of the things that we do, like what Dr. Jira would say, like GRC is for like stay-at-home moms because they
yeah,
know how to take care of the kid. They know how to find out whatever is happening. They're able to investigate and find out other issues going around, and that is what GRC does. That's what we do. Find out what is happening. Why did it happen? Is there any way we can prevent it? So it's really good when you have these people out of their life experience share, because man, some of us have been on the front of anger before, because back home, until you get your crops yield, that's when you can eat. Or you got a fisherman bringing the seafood, that's when you can get food. So most of us really had experience with it because of where we're coming from. But hey, we had a prayer to be on the other side of the planet, so we would say, goodness to God.
um,
But for that, for them using those experience they have, and transitioning it into this industry, I think it's a very positive thing that we can all learn from it.
I think so
Yeah,
too. And I love the fact that you mentioned Dr. Jerry Auger in there as well. It's funny.
yeah,
We've only met for the first time a few weeks ago, and you've just told me that two of the people who've inspired you are two of the people who inspired me at the start of my journey. So Jerry Auger's Simply Cyber community and
yeah.
his YouTube channel, it was having discussions with Jerry that inspired me to make a go of doing this on the YouTube channel. And
Wow.
Jerry actually reached out to me yesterday, and we had a chat last night for the first time in about 7 or 8 months. And it was lovely because he was saying, how much he's seen us change on the InfoSec Live and how much we progressed, and likewise with the Simply Cyber. So I'm hoping moving forward, you'll see more collaborations between InfoSec Live and Simply Cyber, and whole Cyber Human Initiative, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to do the same thing, right? We're all trying to help
Yeah.
people.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Right. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think it's good. I think it's good. I think both communities have the same agenda, and it's gonna be
Yeah,
good to have those collaboration. Now everybody has their own stand. That's fine. We respect it.
of
We
course.
appreciate. Yeah, we appreciate it. But having that relationship, as called those relationships, really helps. Those that want to come in, because I'm telling you, I get calls every day, and people don't even know where to start. Even I've had recruiters asking me, "What is GRC like? What is
Mm.
it about?" Like,
See, well, there's a whole other topic of conversation, right? Deary me, you've opened a can of worms now. Yeah. So, let's talk about that for a moment. So I suppose
okay,
I could throw the question back at you. They say there's a skills gap at the entry level point in the industry. I think you might have answered your thoughts on this already, but is there a skills gap, or is it a perceived skills gap and a bit of a, excuse my French, fuck up when it comes to recruitment, HR, and everyone else getting together to actually do this properly? What do you think?
yeah. I don't think there's a skills gap when it comes to GRC. Let me put GRC that's
Yeah,
where I am. I don't think there's a skills gap, because whatever we do are just day-to-day experience that we have, that we can just transition into it.
yeah,
Yeah, you might need the technical skills, right? But tell me, how much effort or how much skill does it take for you to give a report to the CEO? How much skills do you need?
yeah,
Tell me, how much skills will you need to write a report about an incident that happened, even if you don't know any technical jargons?
yeah.
You understand? So I don't think there's a skills gap. I think there's a kind of standard that these CISOs and these hiring managers or this HR have just said, that everybody needs to get to that mark, which I think is wrong.
Yeah,
You understand? Because I've met people like within the infosec like community, they are so amazing talent in there.
yeah.
The kind of thing they can do, like policy writing, like some of them can write good policies. So tell me, do they need to be a NASA engineer before you can hire them? No, they don't, because they can show what they can do. They understand what they do. That is what we need. Understanding whatever you're doing, as your task, and producing the result. That is all it takes.
I
So
completely,
I don't think
completely
there is
agree.
any. Mhm.
Sorry, no, carry on, Emmanuel.
Yeah, so I don't think there is any kind of restricted in the skills. We got the skills. They just have to give us the opportunity, give the guys opportunity, give all of us that opportunity. You understand? I don't think anybody got to, like, let me use Justin for instance.
Yeah.
Justin never got to this level within a day. He carried some experience he had through the journey that he started. And look at where he is today. So tell me, if nobody gave Justin that opportunity, he's not going to be beneficial to some of us. No way.
Look what Justin's doing with that, right? So here's
Exactly.
a great example. Stuart Wedge, the policy wizard.
Exactly.
Justin was the hiring manager who took him on, and he'd only had 6 months experience studying in the industry. He's got off his backside and done some kind of work himself to help other people. So he had some proof that he was capable. And they took a chance on him over much more highly qualified candidates. And look what he's achieved in the 18 months, maybe a year, 18 months now that he's been working for them. He's not only created courses to help people learn how to do policy writing, he's now presenting to 600 team members. I saw a post yesterday. It's amazing. And that's because someone gave him the chance, right?
Exactly. He's an epitome of whatever we are just talking about right now, because he had the experience, but they said it's 6 months. Come on. Yeah. Come on. He can do whatever you guys wanted him to do. But that's what I said, there's a standard being set in this industry that I think, first of all, I always ask this question. I want to even ask the whole, all the top guns in this industry. Why do we still call it entry level? Why is it called entry? If I can really do an assessment within a house that I'm in, if I can able to drive and run a Uber business and make sure I get a profit out of it, tell me I can't do anything in cybersecurity.
Yeah.
Tell me, just tell me there's no way I can transition those skills, that customer service, into giving presentation to the board, or convincing the change board to initiate a change in any project we are doing. Tell me I can do that. So these are some of the things that we need. That it should be, there shouldn't be a standard. Let me put it, there shouldn't be a standard. Give all of us the chance, okay? Give all of us, this is what we can do. We've been able to showcase it to you through the interviews, through whatever testing or anything they bring. Give us the chance. Let us do it. I don't think there's any skills gap. No, I don't think so. There's no skills gap. The skills are there, just that there are standards being set, that if you don't get to that standard, there's no way you'll be given the opportunity. And that is wrong. It needs to change.
It does.
Yeah, it needs to change. Yeah.
But how do we do that? How do we make it change? This is the thing, isn't it? I suppose the more noise we make about it, the better.
Yeah, so I think the change is already started, because like we mentioned a couple of communities right here, infoseclive, simple cyber, all these communities have started the journey now. It might take a while, but we are going to get there. Okay, very soon, and I'm sure companies are going to even tell their employees as part of their PUs to come and watch infoseclive. I'm sure we are going to get to that point. I'm sure very soon companies are going to say, okay, if within the month you don't get any information on threats, go to the brief threat brief from go get it and then add it to whatever PUs that you have, or any continuous education that you can get. And I know as we go through those cycles, companies, CEOs, CISOs, the HR are going to understand that there is a need for it. So can we give those chances? Can we open it up for anybody, to come in? Yeah, you need to go through everything that you need to go through. Do your background checks, right? Ensure your onboarding process is secure. Get all the policies to ensure that you're hiring the right person. But if the person is right with the right skills, why not? Let's give it. So I think the change has started already. All these communities are putting a lot of effort in there. All these communities are putting a lot of information out there. They are changing lives with all this information, guiding people in order for them to start this journey. And I know as we go through this tunnel, at the end of the tunnel, as I said, who knows? A company will say, okay, Until you go through infoseclive community training, there's no way we can even give you an entry position.
Yeah.
And I know we are going to get there very soon. I strongly believe that.
I love that. And I love the fact that you mentioned the daily threat brief as well. I'm going to put another link in the chat there for anyone who hasn't subscribed to Jerry's channel. I'm sure most of you have. Make sure you do, because every day it's Eastern time. Is it 8 or 9 Eastern time? I can't remember.
8. It's 8. Yeah,
8
I think the summertime is 8. Yeah, then on the winter time it goes to 9 when
That's
the time
right.
change. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend it. I mean, for me, it's my only source of knowledge on threats in the industry. It's the only thing I watch. And I think for those that are registered and need to collect those continuous professional development credits, I think you get half a credit. Is that right for each?
Yeah, I had it today, but I need to confirm from Dr. Gerard. I heard him talking about it today, but I really couldn't finish the stream this morning. So I'll get back to him and ask him a little bit more. Go to the Discord and
Yeah.
find out what he's really discussing over there. But I think it's good. And I told you we are getting there. We are getting there. We are getting there where companies are going to now understand that there's a need. People are trying to upgrade themselves. People are trying to educate themselves. Yeah, you need to go through the 4-year college, right? We understand it's good, pay all the money and everything. But how many can afford?
No.
You understand?
And
how many of them?
While you're talking about that, there's so many people out there with the potential and with talent who can't afford the CompTIA courses, can't afford the SANS courses, can't afford the rest, that the industry is really missing out and really suffering because of that, because people are leaving because they can't afford to study. And the most annoying thing for me out of that is you don't really have to pay for any resources out there if you want to get your knowledge up in cybersecurity. There are tons of free resources, but as you rightly said, I suppose playing devil's advocate from a hiring manager's point of view, the certification route, it demonstrates that you've retained enough of that knowledge, doesn't it? So there is always going to be a place for that. But if someone can demonstrate that knowledge without having that bit of paper, I don't understand. Yeah, Tim and George, Jerry's stream's brilliant. Absolutely is. Sorry, Manuel.
Yeah, that's why I agree with you, sir. I agree. It's been something that it's kind of a debate anytime I meet these, managers, and I meet this, HR and all these CISOs. It's kind of a struggle because sometimes from wherever they say it, that's how they see it, and from wherever we sit, that's how we also see. So it's okay. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to have this kind of for the back, but if the skills is there, why don't we give those opportunity? Why don't you give those time for people to exhibit whatever skills that they do have, even if it's technical, right? People can now learn. Like I got my boys, I hook them up on Python. It's a struggle for them, but they're going through it. Okay, so everybody has a first step in everything that they want to achieve. So when that thing is being shown, if that exhibit is around, why not? Why don't we take advantage of it? And also, I think, Simon, do you think this industry should have some kind of a regulation? I know people don't agree with me. Like we have the board, the medical board, the nursing board.
I completely 100% agree with you. The only barrier I see to that is geographical. So for us to agree as a globe on any one thing doesn't ever seem to happen. So the likelihood of us getting regulation that can cross borders is really slim. I think in an ideal world, 1,000,000% yes. But how we do that, God knows. I don't know.
I agree with you. I agree with you. It's gonna be, but at least we can start talking about it. We can start. Every change start with a word. We had a civil right going on in America, and most of the benefit some of us are enjoying, those people that started fighting never did enjoy it. But they started talking about it. They started fighting for it.
Yeah.
So we can start talking about it. We can try and see if it's possible, so that people will be able to know that this is the streamline that we can go through in order to achieve or reach this level in this industry, so that it doesn't become or it doesn't become so much noisy as you want to go into the industry. or even when you're in the industry, how you want to even move to the next level. What are some of the skills that you need to do that you don't have to pay so much money in it?
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
for me, the answer for people breaking in is a reasonably simple one. Apprenticeships work; they're proven to work, and many governments around the world, UK included, and I think the US as well, offer incentives to companies to take on apprentices. For me, that hands-on aspect of learning is crucial, especially in an industry like cybersecurity. And I think we should all be making more noise about that as an option, and trying to encourage businesses to adopt the apprenticeship model. What do you think about that?
I agree with you. I really agree. Not only apprenticeship, even volunteering. Okay.
Yeah.
I decided to volunteer for one of the companies, and some of the terms and conditions they were bringing on board, it was like, I don't know, maybe I was just going into another, like, unquote, slavery, because I just wanted to volunteer my time, and they just wanted to take the whole 24 hours for me. Come on, I got a family. So I think I agree with you. Companies, have to have that apprenticeship. They have to have that volunteerism available for anyone. It doesn't even
Yeah,
matter.
and
I know people.
it goes back to what we were saying earlier. So not everyone can afford to volunteer their time. If you've got children, family
Right,
responsibilities, back to what you
right,
said about being at home, you get food when it's harvested, when the fisherman comes in. If you're in that situation and you're providing and helping to provide for your family, volunteering is a really difficult thing to do. I think for
right,
anyone
right.
who is in a position to volunteer, there are far more benefits that outweigh the negatives on it if you can give up the time to
Exactly.
do it. Because as it did for you, Emmanuel, it opens doors massively.
Yeah,
But it's whether you can afford to do that whilst you wait for those doors to open, because you never know
okay.
when that's going to happen. So for me, the apprenticeship route that are funded, so people will get paid a small amount for doing an apprenticeship.
Mhm.
And I think it's then down to us as an industry to work out the best way to identify this talent for businesses, so that we can say to them, we can wheel people up after. I mean, for example, the workshop that Precious, you and all the team put together a
Yeah.
few weeks back, working with certificate providers like CompTIA, Security Blue Team,
Mhm.
SANS, other people like that. If we can work out a way of doing a shorter assessment, maybe a 4-week assessment, personality assessment, aptitude tests, that way we can then help businesses get through the noise of the industry market with the
Mhm.
recruiters and give them a short list of candidates. Because let's be honest, it's again a home truth that no one wants to talk about, that is this industry isn't for everyone. And I
Yeah.
think
Exactly.
what boot camps are doing is they're saying, oh, anyone can do this. And don't get me wrong, if anyone's got the passion and the drive to do it, anyone can do it. But if you haven't got that
Yeah.
passion and you haven't got that drive, and that's the bit that we need to be able to identify as an industry to make it easier for firms to take a chance on taking people on as an apprenticeship, because it is, it's a financial loss for a business for a long time. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think that apprenticeship needs to be looked into. I think companies should really have a kind of a section within their HR to look at basically for the IT field. Like, hey, maybe within a year or in our next budget, we're gonna have this percentage. In order to help, work with it. But it will also depend on what we are going to bring up.
Yeah.
We always champion. Somebody asked me, man, they always say like, yeah, give everybody the chance. Like, what do you guys bring on board? Because he was telling me there was one guy that came with all the search and everything, but he couldn't even open an Active Directory. I'm like, I understand, but what about the ones that can also do without a set? You
Yeah.
treat those two people the same way. So there should be a change. So I think what we bring on board, like what we are doing today, broadcasting it out, talking about it now, one other community will pick it up. And as we keep on talking, as we keep on broadcasting, as we keep on preaching, it's going to go into good years, and there might be a change in that.
They will
So
listen. They will listen.
we don't have to scare them too, Simon. We don't have to scare them.
Let's jump off our high horses on the recruitment
Right.
level bit. And I've got I've got one more question because I'm trying to keep these down to 45 minutes now. So the last question is, you've achieved stacks and tons of things over the last few years. What's next? What are your dreams for the future? Where do you want to be in 5 years, Emmanuel?
Yeah, in fact, I want to be a CISO. But that board written. I wanted to bring the board over here, but I think I couldn't bring it. It's on there. I want to be a CISO, not only a CISO, but a change CISO. And I've already written on a big board right just on top of my bed. And that's my dream. That's my dream. I don't want to be only a CISO, but I want to be a change CISO. A CISO that's going to understand whatever is going down at the bottom side of it and even on the top side of it. Okay. It's not going to be someone just going to be and sit on the board or sit on top and just, if it's not my way, then it's going to be the highway. So I want to be a change. I want to bring a change in it, like from the process of getting people in the industry. That is one. Two, the streamline of the education. How many content should someone consume in order to be in this field? Three, the businesses. What are some of the things that we can do as corporate? We all know we have a lot of corporate social responsibility. Can we channel some of them into the IT field? Can we support communities like infoseclive community to train more people without them, putting financial burden on them? So those are the changes that in the near future, as I prepare and as I work towards being a CISO, I will start to implement.
Love that.
Because it's very vital to me, trying to help somebody in any way. It doesn't matter how big or small, it's a help. Doesn't matter.
Have you seen Steve Hindle's comment about you, Emmanuel?
No.
There we go. It says, speaking from experience, you may not have the title, but you have it. As a leader, you clearly walk the talk. You got to be pleased with
that. Thanks, Steve. Thanks. Shout out to my late grandma. She really taught us that.
I've said this expression lots of times, but the one that my grandmother always used to say was, if you lay down with dogs, you get fleas. That's what I got from her. But
that was a good one.
I say that though. While we're talking about family, my grandmother, she lived till she was 100 years old. She had polio. She was one of 8 children, lived in poverty. She had polio as a child and was told that she wouldn't make it past her 11th birthday. So she never went to school. She was really poorly educated, but she worked so hard throughout her life, and she was still working. She cooked for, you probably won't know these names, she cooked for the Bishop of Norwich locally, but she also cooked for King George, Douglas Bader, who was like a World War II pilot. So she always worked in the service industry, but she was still working right up until her 86th birthday for a local family as like their cook and house cleaner. And I think we all learn things from our family, and from her, I've learned that working hard is super important. Whether it'll mean I get to 100 years old, who knows? But Emma's comment, our ancestors and experience make us who we are. Surround yourself with the right influence, and I think that's the moral of the story of laying down with dogs and getting fleas, but on the other side of it. And Emma, you love this story because it has food. I love that. For anyone
I love food. I love food because that's what you get, I remember like what you do that.
While we're talking about it, I love food, and my wife cooked a home cooked Chinese meal this evening, and we have a slow cooked beef. This is for you, Emma. A slow cooked beef in what was it in? Like a black bean sauce, and then she did a sweet and sour chicken. She made the batter up, fried the chicken, and then cooked the sauce. And I've just got that. And Emma, yes, you will taste that cooking. I'll see if I can get some through customs when I come over in weeks' time. But finishing off on that food note, I've still got dessert downstairs. I'm looking forward to that. Emmanuel, thank you so much for taking the time to come on. It's been absolutely amazing. Any final messages for people watching or words of encouragement for those trying to break into the industry?
Yeah, so first of all, let me thank you, Simon. Let me thank you for infoseclive. In fact, it's amazing the kind of work you guys are doing. In fact, you guys should have sent a bill. There's no way we'll be able to pay now, but I know the good Lord is going to really pay everyone in the volunteers, the mentors. Hey, I really appreciate everything you guys are doing. One thing I want to say finally is never give up. If you want to be in this industry, never give up. Assess yourself first. Ask yourself, what can I do? If you're somebody that can talk like me, that's a good plus. If you're somebody that can write, we need you to write policies. That's good. If you're someone that can think through, we will need you in risk management because you'll be able to bring out all the things that are going on. So every skill that you have, look on it, go deep into it, analyze them, and bring them on board. Never feel shy, never ask the questions. In this industry, there's nothing wrong or right. Ask all the questions that you want. And
I
as
love,
keep on doing, you'll be able to do. And don't forget the networking. Keep
yeah,
networking. It was through network that I met Justin, and Justin brought me to this family.
yeah.
And look at where I am. So never forget the network. It was Paul that gave me the direction, and look at where I am. So never forget the connection. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you have a ton knowledge, a ton in information, whether you have a PhD or whether you have a BS. It doesn't matter. Start with what you have, believe in what you have, and keep on doing it. And I'm sure you're gonna get there.
I
Thank
love
you,
that.
Simon. I really
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Emmanuel. Actually, yeah,
Thank you.
networking, Alana, you're right. Networking has brought us all together, and it is so
Yeah,
important. But before we
yeah,
wrap things up, if you've all got a couple of minutes, I mentioned earlier on that Steve Hindle had dropped a link into the community that I was really impressed
yeah.
with. I'm gonna drop that in the chat again, just in case anyone's missed that, because from a self-discovery point of view, this is aimed at younger people. Let me see if I can share my screen. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. So I'm hoping you can now see this.
Okay.
What this takes you through says here, we believe that each one of you play a vital part in securing our future. The pathways to a fulfilling career are laid out below. Not ready for a job yet? That's great. Learning about how to keep yourself and your family safe online will benefit you no matter what career you choose. And then it talks about what you like doing. So do you like building beautiful things? It talks about mechanical engineers and how that relates to the things that you enjoy doing. It then talks about whether you're more of a break it and see what happens kind of person. Some people like to build stuff. And then finally, the last piece that isn't talked about much in this industry is the storytelling piece. And it says here, only 30 to 40% of the jobs in cybersecurity are actually technical. And if you like working with people, the ability of telling a story and finding ways to help people learn is so important. So again, I think I've just dropped, I've dropped that in the chat. Please do check those resources out. And also, Steve Hindle, thank you so much for sharing that in the community. Awaya, Simon, I'd love to connect and join this family. Let me just bring you up the QR code for you to scan. So if you scan that, you can come along and see us. That'd be fantastic. And anyone else who'd like to join, it'd be great to see you too. So Emmanuel, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank
Everyone
you.
in the
Yeah,
audience,
come on.
there's been
Just a
loads.
minute.
Sorry, Emmanuel.
Just a minute. Let me give a big shout out to my Akron, Ohio community. They are doing also fantastic. It's in fact, we have a lot of kind of crime going on here. So the community is trying to use the cybersecurity and the IT to help the youth, and we are champions. So I wanna my coach is watching, so he just tested me. Coach Bentley, I salute you
Have you
for the
got a
good
link?
work you guys are
A
doing.
link for their website, Emmanuel?
Yeah, I'll share with you.
Drop it in the private chat now. And before we wrap things up, I'll put it in the main
Okay.
chat.
Okay. I'll do that. They're doing so amazingly, trying to use the IT and the cybersecurity to reduce crime. So I want to give them a big shout out. And also, as I said, I'm opening. My contract is ending. So hey, when it comes to security awareness, we are available. When it comes to any GRC positioning, hey, we are here to support and help. So reach out to Simon, reach
If
out
you
to me, and
if
you'll
you
be
need
fine.
help, contact Emmanuel. How are you getting on with
Yeah.
that link? Have you found it yet?
Hold on. Let me
Let's make sure we share that for everyone. Thanks,
we share
Doreen.
that. Okay. Yeah. Let me. Yeah. You can keep on. Let me get it and share it now. Just a
I don't
minute.
know what I can juggle, but I haven't got enough balls here to juggle with. I've also got
Okay.
I've got a magic trick here if anyone wants to see it. But maybe we'll save the ball in the cups magic routine for next time. Give us something to do.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, Emmanuel, why don't you drop it in the comments after we've wrapped up? So for anyone who's
wrapped up, okay.
Check them up. But everyone, have an absolutely amazing weekend. We're back next week for some more live stream action. Emmanuel, thank you.
Okay. Thank you too.
Have a great weekend. See you, Steve.
You too. Thank you. Bye.